I must say, season 5 has not let us down at all when it comes to everything. I mean, people talk about the love square and how it is, and now it's completely reversed. Reversion.
The reverse love square is in full play in season 5. How do you think that is affecting the show?
I think it breathes some new life into the show where some fans were like, okay, where's the kiss? Where's the reveal? When's it gonna happen? But now everyone's like going, they're going crazy over the fact that now Adrian has a thing for Marinette and that Ladybug now has a thing for Cat Noir. And that whole reversal of the love square has so much rich content for the fans. I have been seeing just this week, based off of a spoiler from the Portuguese release of this week's episode, the fandom being so crazily inspired, and all of the edits and all of the theories and like the rest of the fandom's like, no spoilers, we don't want to see it yet. But at the same time, they cannot help but devour it because it's so beautiful. It's an Adrian Marinette moment, and it's so precious. It's so precious, y'all. It's so sweet. Like that, even their cheeks get blushed.
I'm blushing right now hearing you talk about this, Ezra.
I know it. It's really what a lot of the fandom wants to see. And, it's just, we've been waiting so long for these cute moments and not only cute moments, but we're also seeing some real dark moments happening. Like the character of Monarch is really struggling. And the character of Gabriel Agreste is trying to find the best way possible to connect with his son. That dynamic of parent-child relationship, it's pretty profound. And he's going out of his way. He's making himself do things that make him feel uncomfortable as a way to bond more with his son because he feels like he's going to lose him. And that's some deep stuff that, smaller children don't really see. But the older fans, they definitely see. And the prime demographic for the show is like 16 to 24 years old. Like, it is a show that plays 23. That's y'all, right? Plays to your heart, plays to your head, your heart. It makes you think, it makes you feel. And at the same time, we know how beautiful and exciting and, and energizing and adventurous the episodes are. So it really is appealing for a younger audience because there's a lot of action and it's beautiful and it's funny. But there's the other stuff that's going on in season 5.
Yes, season 5, 10 out of 10.
Definitely.
10 out of 10.
It's crazy. 10 out of 10. 100 out of 10.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, 100 out of 10.
By the way, one of our favorite jokes that Cat Noir said that we cracked up, he's being chased in the episode with Natalie as the safari.
Yeah.
And he's being chased and he goes, "Stop following me. I'm not even an influencer."
Right.
We died.
I cannot guarantee that that's what the line said or if that's what we wrote it to.
That's what I was speculating.
Because I think Bryce and I, we rewrote that to be influencer,
I know you guys
to be
did.
more
That's so cute
current.
and creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is incredible how you guys
there
are
are
keeping
so
the
many
story
more.
up to
I
date.
love that episode because we got to see Natalie look like Lara Croft from Tomb Raider.
I know!
She
How cool is
slayed.
that?
Oh my gosh.
Woo!
She slayed for sure.
This has been such a fun interview, Ezra. We want to also ask, do you view the Miraculous Ladybug franchise as one that embraces inclusivity? And if so, how?
The answer is yes, 100% wholeheartedly yes. The show, first of all, is... Zero needed to say hi for a second.
Oh, hi,
Hi, sending you love.
Speaking of inclusivity, Zero was like, you haven't held me for almost a half hour. That's not fair. So I do know that the show is all about inclusivity. Some of the some of the beautiful messaging that happens inside of the show goes without ever any attention to it, which I think is how inclusivity needs to be approached. Just accept people for who they are, see them, respect them, love them. We don't need to be calling anything out, because then that makes you feel excluded even by the mention of calling it out, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, we all really want to know what happens to a voice actor when they might lose their voice during a recording session.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was working on this movie that I was just telling you about that will be on Amazon, called Lupin versus the Cat's Eye. And there's one character who just, is a regular guy, great regular voice. And I said, I've got this incredible actor in mind, and I want to use this incredible actor. And that incredible actor right now is the lead of a series, an anime series that is gaining a lot of popularity. Okay. It's graphic and like bloody and very adult in terms of like the violent theme of it.
I think I know which one this is, but I won't take a guess.
It's got a lot of screaming in it. And this guy, he's got like weapons that are on his hands and a weapon coming from his face.
Yeah.
And he's called you know what I mean? He's like this weird man. I don't want to give it away, but if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
If you know, you know.
Something you might use to cut down trees with.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Sure, exactly. That kind of thing. So he is so very talented, and I knew that he would be perfect for this part, and he's a friend of mine, and I wanted to get him involved in this series because I also see like he's on a roll with his career, and I just want to help him move it along with other things as well. But he was recording a week's worth of that anime series, and that anime series has him screaming the entire time. So when he came to me to record this movie, his voice was really rough. So we gave him tea, we gave him lozenges, I told him to relax, I told him his character doesn't have to scream that much. He only had like 2 scenes that he had to scream. So I saved it for the very end, and we did his session out of sequence so that he could save his voice. We did minimal amount of takes, so he didn't have to do it over and over and over again. And we were able to sort of like contain his voice. Now, since this was a one-off character and not a series, we were able to get away with it because now that's what that guy sounds like, right? But if we were doing something like Miraculous Ladybug and Bryce comes in after a weekend of being away at a convention, talking to fans, doing all kinds of panels, doing voice memos, all those things, and he comes to me and he sounds like that, then we would have to reschedule his session until his voice got more rest. Because that way, all of a sudden, either Adrian will sound like he has a cold or he'll sound out of character.
Right.
So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I've always wondered.
yes, but if you are a professional voiceover actor and you're working very busy, you suggest to your agent that they book your more strenuous, tiring vocal sessions at the end of the week, like on a Thursday or a Friday, so that you've got Saturday, Sunday for vocal rest. Because otherwise, all of your work will sound all hoarse and scratchy.
So Ezra, some of our K3SB fam members are interested in choosing voice acting as their career. Do you have any advice on how someone would go about becoming a voice actor these days? And are there more or less opportunities in the voice acting world as the industry continues to grow and develop?
Great, love it. I get that question asked often when I go to conventions as well. So your K3SB fans are right on point, and I'm so happy I can address them directly because that's the benefit they get from following you and your content. So What I
Ezra,
say,
you are so sweet.
what I say to anybody who's interested in voice acting is, number one, you have to start talking out loud more often. You just have to talk a lot, because you have to get really comfortable with how your voice sounds and get confident with the way your unique instrument sounds in the world, even if you think it sounds terrible. If you think it sounds terrible, you're not going to be a successful voiceover actor. It's just not going to happen, because you'll always have self-doubt and insecurity. So the first thing you have to do is just get comfortable with your voice. And the way that you can tell if you're comfortable or uncomfortable with your voice is when you listen to your own recorded content back. If you're making a TikTok video, or if you're doing an Instagram story or a reel, and then you watch it back and you just want to constantly re-record it because you're like, oh, I don't like how I sound. Or you question, is that how I really sound? Ugh. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. People have to hear my voice. You got to get over that hurdle. The other thing that I would say is it's very, very important to read out loud. Don't sit at home and read your book quietly. Read your book out loud. Get that muscle exercising and read out loud. Get your mouth forming around words. Get your thoughts traveling to the end of the thought where the period is, or the question mark or the exclamation mark, and start to learn how to deliver lines all the way through without stopping in the middle or going and just smooth reads, as we call them in the industry, a smooth read. And always reading towards that period, not reading towards that period, right? Reading towards that period. So it sounds like you're really speaking. And practice reading out loud. Now, if one of your followers right now in the chat says, that sounds great, Ezra, but I really want to get into animation. Like, I think I've got great character voices and I really want to shine in animation. My dream is to be in a Disney cartoon or even a Miraculous Ladybug one day. How do I do that? The thing that you need to practice doing right now is reading out loud to children's books. Because if you can hold the attention of a child and you can make that book come to life, then you're already doing the work that needs to happen for animation.
Oh,
And
that is so
that's the most
inspiring.
fun. Have you ever listened to a Harry Potter audiobook?
Yes.
Maybe once or twice.
I would think so, because I know that's a Potter household. So if you've listened to it, you can hear how it's much different than the movies, obviously, but it's a very intimate relationship that you start to build with the reader, Tim Daly, with the reader, as well as with the material. And it starts to pop in your mind, and you start to experience the magical wizardry of Harry Potter. And that's all coming through the brilliance of the reader, of the actor. And all the different character voices are very specific. And when they speak again, it's still the same character. And if you are an animated character actor, then you need to know, like, this is this voice that I do for this character, this voice for that character. They're very specific and they're very consistent. So that's my very
awesome.
long-winded.
That is really good advice.
Yes, well, thank you so much for giving this advice to the K3SB fam. That was very, very cool. Now, I must say, this has been so much fun chatting with you today and talking about, honestly, one of the best shows ever, Miraculous
Yes.
Ladybug. So, before we say goodbye, is there anything else maybe about season 5 or anything really that you want to speak directly to the Miraculers watching before we go?
You know what? I'm going to say this. This is a little bit deep of a message, okay?
Okay.
And it speaks to anybody of any age. And I think that the show speaks that way. The show in season 5 specifically deals with, there is a storyline It is not your main storyline. It's not your secondary storyline, but it's an underlying storyline that goes throughout the season so far. And the theme of it really is, if you don't deal with the thing that bothers you or that hurts you, if you don't address it and you don't deal with it and you don't try to resolve it, it grows and it festers and it makes it worse. So if anybody out there has a small problem that they feel inside their heart and they really want to share it, because sharing that small problem will make it start to go away and feel better, I really encourage you to find a friend or a parent, or even sometimes talking to a new buddy who you don't know that well, and just letting that come out of your system and out of your heart a little bit. Because if you keep the things that bother you inside, they don't go away. They just start to spread all over you. And then you might not know what to do and how to fix it. So, and if there is something that's bothering you that's not small, that's even bigger, then I really do encourage you to start doing the talk and start to speak to your friends or your parents, or someone who you really do trust, because that will make you feel better. And you shouldn't have to live with something that makes you feel bad inside of yourself all the time. And I think that's a really important lesson that it's not even really talked about as a lesson, but I do notice it as a theme. And of course, as always, work together, respect one another, and try to be the best hero that you can and help other people whenever possible, because that's what Miraculous Ladybug is all about: respect and teamwork.
Yes, love that. That was so beautiful. Oh my goodness. K3SB fam, you heard it from Ezra. Believe in yourself. In fact, that really goes in with our K3 motto, which is, it's these 3 sentences. I will always believe in myself and celebrate my life and the lives of others.
I will respect the music and customs of others as long as they are not harmful to anyone.
I will stand against bullying of any kind and choose love over hate.
Hashtag K3 motto.
I love it. I love you 3. You're amazing. That's such a beautiful motto. And I do feel like it really fits in both ways, in what you create and in what's being created in Miraculous Ladybug.
Yes, our worlds have collided once again, Ezra.
Yep. Now, have you thought about, has there ever been any creative conversation in the household about making any new Miraculous songs?
Oh.
Ezra. You know we're always plotting, Ezra.
I mean,
I don't know.
I do.
So much more has happened since season 4 that we could almost make another song about all these things that have happened.
Yes.
And yes, there has been many talk about it, and there may or may not be another Miraculous Ladybug song coming.
You'll just have to stay
no
tuned,
spoilers.
Ezra.
I don't want any spoilers from the K3 Sisters band. But I just know that all of the fans and what they want more of, as one of your fans, that's what I want more of.
Hey. I will say this though, it shall be miraculous.
It shall be miraculous. And I will wait until then.
Yes.
Ezra, we have had such a wonderful time talking with you about Miraculous and your voice acting career. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us.
My pleasure, and a happy holiday to the 3 of you and to your entire production team. And I love checking in on y'all and watching you on Saturdays when you go live and watching the videos that you post. So I am always a big fan of all of your social media sites. So keep doing what you do, because it brings me so much joy.
Thank you. We love seeing you when you're able to stop by at the live streams. We always shout you out too.
You do, and you make me feel very special.
You are special, Ezra.
Yes, Ezra, never lose the light that you have inside you. You are such a unique, wonderful human being, and we're all so thankful for the hard work that you, Jeremy Zag, and all of the Miraculous team put into this magnificent show. We really are eternally grateful.
It is all of our pleasure, believe me.
All right. That's it for this Superstar Central, guys.
All right, we'll see you later, K3SB fam and Miraculers.
Happy holidays. Bye.
They meet their Kwamis, TT and Black, in battle stone hard, who was akumatized by Hawk Moth.